No one is coming to save you. No one's coming to save me. You're on your own. So you better get your ass prepared. What's going on, everybody? Coach Rob here, back behind the mic, behind the camera, broadcasting back on YouTube, and I will be uploading every one of these videos on Rumble. I do have the account, and there are a few videos on there. I keep forgetting to upload content on there, but now things are getting dicey again. I will be uploading all of my videos on Rumble because it's 2024, and much like 2020, we're in an election cycle. And if you remember back in 2020, during the spooky flu era, our voices were suppressed. Censorship was on the menu. And if you had any sort of a dissenting voice, or if you spoke against the scripted narrative, or if you wanted to have discourse or dialogue or discussion or debate about some of the things that we were forced to live under in that moment, in that time, then you were an enemy of the state and you were stricken from many platforms and your voice was tempered. And for that reason, now things are cranking up again and things are getting bizarre again, and we know why. It's more important than ever for those people out there like myself, even as small as my circle of influence is as a husband and a father. It's important for me to try to speak as much truth as I possibly can, to let my voice be heard, because I never want to let my children and grandchildren say that I sat back and did nothing when things were clearly and obviously a mess. So not only am I going to be uploading my video content to Rumble, and feel free to check out that Rumble account, and please subscribe to that. I would appreciate that. But I'm also going to be uploading videos to X. I hadn't done much on X, but I am now. And it's because whether you think, oh, Elon's a psyop or not, free speech and free expression seems to be on the menu over there. And just to be safe, I will be uploading the majority of my, personal opinions on certain topics and matters, including and mostly to do with fitness, on X. So please follow me there. x.com/Coach Rob Goodwin. Links below as well. Because it's inevitable that if you are questioning the narrative in the health and fitness realm, which just by being an advocate of a carnivore diet or an ancestral health diet, to talk about the consumption of meat over the plant-based agenda, well, that can land you in hot water with the narrative, with the people pulling the strings. So once again, you have to be careful. So again, in order to protect myself and my right to free speech and free self-expression, I will be making sure that my content is uploaded to places where I feel like those opinions and that content is, to some degree, protected. Which brings me to the topic of today. There will be a little bit of a shift into some of the things that I talk about. As I have made the shift over to being more of a hybrid athlete, I'm not only just concerned about the aesthetics of my training, just looking amazing like you would in physique competition. I did bodybuilding for almost a decade, and the sole concern of everything that I did had to do with looking to an extreme, almost unnatural version of myself, to be able to stand on stage with a tiny percent of the population that was willing to put in the immense amount of hard work, dieting and suffering to achieve a very unnatural, extremely low percentage of body fat and conditioning to stand on stage and compete in less than their underwear with their peers to try to win a trophy or a medal. And I've talked about this at length. Now the focus has changed. I'm older, perhaps wiser. I've been through a lot, emotionally, personally, with my family, and I've evolved. And even though there was a period of time post bodybuilding competition retirement that I felt like I'd lost my identity to some degree, that has fully changed. And I'm in a place now where I couldn't be more excited, pleased, happy, and really just excited about what the future holds. Because what I'm doing now is so much more well-rounded, where the aesthetic thing is now way down the list as to what my primary goals are. And so many of you out there, if really put to the test, would probably admit that health and longevity and performance and being a well-rounded badass in everything that you do, no matter what may cross your path, to be the best that you can possibly be, to have excellence in everything that you do. And it all comes from the physical body. If you are fit, if you are competent, if you are trained, if you are constantly making sure that you're pushing yourself forward and you're not staying static, because there is no such thing as static. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. And you have to choose which course of action you're going to take. Are you going to be better? Are you going to be worse? And there are so many things more involved in being the best version of yourself than you could possibly be than just lifting a bunch of weights, picking things up and putting them down, and then dieting to a point of, suffering for a certain period of time to achieve some certain aesthetic that is not sustainable, that's not going to last long term, that is arguably unhealthy. I mean, I don't regret ever doing it. I had a blast in my period, my phase of competitive bodybuilding, but now that is not my thing, and I couldn't be more excited about the future. So in my pursuit of physical excellence, being the best I can possibly be at any age, there are more things that I have to focus on. There is more synergy at play that I have to be aware of. And I recently, speaking of X, Twitter, if you're not in the loop, formerly Twitter, now X, I just did a post on X, and I think I shared it maybe to my Instagram, and I'm not even sure if I did it on Facebook or not, but if you want to get to the meat, like I said, follow me on there. But on X, I did a post. And I have been on record many times in the past saying something to the effect of, if a government 3-letter agency tells you to do it, or promotes it or advocates it, then you should do the opposite. In almost every case, if not every single case, you should do the opposite. And I listed some of those things as examples. I probably can't even repeat all of the things on this list for fear of the gatekeepers getting upset because it pushes against the narrative. And you certainly wouldn't want to be influencing people to better themselves, become stronger, because stronger, capable, educated, wiser people are far more likely to stand up against the establishment and oppression and fight back. They want docile, weak, fat, compliant, empty vessels that will soak up whatever narrative they're handed and not pose a threat when things get really bad. And we very well may be on the brink of that. So what I mentioned in this post was, I listed the things that are, and this is not all of them. I'll have to do a part B and a part C and whatever. But some of the main things that are always, on the forefront of my thoughts and my mind, of things that the 3-letter agencies and the legacy media are trying to tell us to not do, are precisely, in fact, the things that we should do. We should not only do them, but we should pursue them with the utmost intensity and vigor and intensity, and do everything in our power to build ourselves to be the most capable human beings that we can possibly be. First thing on the list that I thought of, just off the top of my head, was you're told to lower your cholesterol. And let me go ahead and go on record. This is just satire. This is for informational purposes only. Just kind of goofing around. Don't take any of this seriously. Don't take any of it to heart. Consult your physician and consult your doctor before doing anything that I would ever recommend. Because we're just goofballing around over here. It's not real. It's not serious. This is just joshing, just having a little bit of fun. But what I said was they tell you to lower your cholesterol. Personally, I'm trying to do the opposite. Under the context of a healthy, fit body. If my triglycerides are good, mine are in the 60s. If my HSCRP score, which is your body's total score of total body inflammation, if that number is good. If I am lean, I am low body fat, I am fit, all of my other metrics are good. My blood pressure is good. My heart rate variability is good. My sleep score is spectacular. My performance outside is good. My performance in the gym is good. My diet is clean. I avoid seed oils. I avoid excess sugar. I avoid all the shit. If all of these metrics and all these things are in place, I understand that cholesterol is present in the nearly 72 trillion cells in our body and is responsible in one way or another with every damn good thing that happens in your body. Testosterone, growth hormone, libido, strength, everything. A component of the best things that happen in your body come from having healthy levels of dietary cholesterol in your body. You synthesize cholesterol with vitamin D, combine that with a healthy lifestyle of lifting heavy things, getting in, being active, getting 15,000 or more steps in a day, maybe doing some cardiovascular efforts, some of them hard, getting adequate sleep, eating an animal-based diet, whatever. Healthy, even elevated cholesterol numbers are nothing to fear, and it's something that I am thrilled when my doctor tells me that even though they may be above what the three-letter agencies tell you is healthy, we know, because we have escaped the matrix and we think outside the box and we understand what truly is happening, we high-five each other and I move on. So they tell you to lower that. The other thing they tell you is to avoid the sun. Have you noticed this? Slather on the sunscreen. Get out of the sun. The sun is damaging. Listen to your dermatologist. Sun is harmful. Cover up. Stay out of the sun. Remember the first thing that I mentioned, the C word? Combine that with healthy doses of daily sun exposure and thrive. Vitamin D is absolutely critical. They might even tell you that you can take in too much vitamin D. That is not a thing. It is not the sun that causes catastrophic health ailments. One could argue that the constant and continual and obsessive application of sunscreens are making you more susceptible to these things than the sun exposure is. Our human species throughout the greater course of our human existence have thrived on sunlight. I try to take as much time as I possibly can each day to get out there and get that sun exposure because it synthesizes with the healthy cholesterol in your body, and all good things happen as a result of that symbiotic combination of the sunlight and your healthy cholesterol levels. So don't avoid the sun. Get more sun. And you might say, well, I burn or I'm fair-skinned or whatever. Well, number one, and you may not believe this until you do your due diligent research, but if you follow a carnivore diet, your susceptibility to sunburn decreases substantially. Two, yes, everybody has a exposure limitation based on skin tone and genetics. But rather than slathering on the toxic sunscreen that's going to cause far more damage than good, Cover up. Put on a long sleeve, a thin long sleeve shirt or a big hat or get under an umbrella or just go back inside for a while. Do it in doses. Remember, with everything, it's not how much or how little, but it's the precise amount required. So don't avoid the sun. They'll tell you not to eat meat. Do I even have to talk about this? They're promoting a plant-based vegan agenda because it makes the population weak and subservient. And I would even argue that it keeps you more dependent on those that think they need to be medicated with antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications. It goes part and parcel with the whole big pharma push towards dependence on chemical compounds that you can alleviate or may not even exist at all. They tell you not to eat meat. Meat is the most nutritious, life-giving nutrient on the planet. Once again, as a species, we could not have survived as the human race if it weren't for our consumption of animal-based products. Our ancestors' primary goal each and every single day was to find an animal, kill that animal, and consume it nose to tail. And that's what made sure that they and their families and their tribes thrived. Sure, we had to occasionally gather or scavenge. That was just part of the process. A good kill wasn't always guaranteed, but that was the number one goal of every culture that's ever existed. Meat is life. It is nourishment. Everything a growing boy needs is in meat, especially red meat. Never limit your consumption of meat. Thrive on an animal-based hypercarnivore diet. Listen, if you want to go have a freaking salad, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm just saying, believing the narrative that a plant-based vegan diet is the thing that's going to make you thrive as a human being couldn't be any further from the truth ever. It's a lie, it's a psyop, it's a scam, and it's part of the agenda to keep you weak and powerless and subservient. Deficient of nutrition, deficient of the things that are going to make you a strong, thriving human being. They're going to tell you, listen to the media. The most corrupt human beings on the planet, controlled by the Matrix, the globalists. The state-controlled media is not trying to help you. They're not trying to give you objective news. They're trying to feed you propaganda and lies to keep you controlled and to insert the individuals that they think will continue to push this damaging agenda. I have read articles recently where these magazines and these social media sites and these agencies and whatever have said that, people that lift weights are these, right-wing misogynists. What a dumbass thing to say. Of course they're going to say that, though, because, again, they want you weak, compliant, and subservient. If you control the strong, especially military-age males, the people that do the fighting in any sort of an uprising where you are defending your freedoms against someone who is oppressing you and suppressing your God-given rights as a human being, of course, that's especially one section of the population that they want completely neutered. Neuter the strong male figures, and you have a weak, submissive culture. And you've eliminated the greatest number of people who have the ability to rise up and fight and protect the weak and the innocent from oppression. Lift weights. What is my formula? Well, my template for success in everything that you do is 4 things: effort, consistency, grit, and fortitude. And within those 4 things that you should adopt and enact every single day to achieve success, lift heavy things, move your body through space. Sitting is death, movement is life. Get adequate sleep and recovery, eat an animal-based diet, nourish your body. They want you to cower in the corner, to believe everything you're told, do as you're told. Because the one thing that they can make you give up your freedom for is the illusion of safety. They say they tell you to do all these things because it's for your safety. It's not. It's the illusion of safety. It's the illusion of comfort. But what do you have to give up in order to grant them that? Your freedoms, your ability to think for yourself. Too political? Sorry. I don't really mean to be. I mean, that's what platforms like this are. It gives us common citizens the ability, it gives us a reach that we can push beyond the legacy media that is so bought, sold, and corrupted, that is lying to you at every turn, at nearly every damn thing. We're glued behind these TV screens. We're glued behind the television. Television. It's lies. It's deceit. And they have controlled arms that are doing their bidding. Hollywood, the music industry, sports. Give them bread and circuses and nobody will revolt. And in the case that they might want to think of revolting against the powers that be, just promise them the illusion of safety if they just give up a few little freedoms. That never ends well, and it never has in human history. Strange times are coming, people. And my content here, from here on out, yes, it will be very heavily weighted in training, in nutrition, in capacity, in effort, and to show you that you, no matter who you are, have the ability to take measures today to make yourself the best possible, hardened, tempered piece of fucking steel that looks carved out of wood that's able to take on anything that might cross your path. And then the side effect of that is you look pretty damn good too. It's really, really hard not to do the things that I'm going to be telling you to do and advocating that you do, and not coming out of that looking amazing. Changing your body composition is an inevitable side effect of the work that you put in, the things that I recommend that you do. And we're going to dive so much deeper into these things because of the way my training is involved, the way my outlook on my future has evolved, that I know that I am the sole protector and provider of my family. No one is coming to save you. No one's coming to save me. You're on your own. So you better get your ass prepared. And Tactical Timmy out there that just thinks because he's got a safe full of guns, he's fine. That son of a bitch, once he runs out of ammo, or if he gets caught by surprise, that dude couldn't climb a chain link fence, couldn't run across a parking lot. I want to make sure that everything that I do in my training is tempering me and forging me to be the best possible human being that I could be at any age. I'll be 56 years old in November. November's a big month this year. And I want to know, when I wake up 56 years old, I'm going to ask myself the same question that I asked myself when I turned 55. But I'm not sure I answered the question honestly when I turned 55. But when I turn 56, I will be able to answer honestly. Could I be any more fit and strong and capable on the morning of my birthday, turning 56, that I could be? And even on that day, the goal will not change. The course of action will not change. I will move forward to still try to be the best version of myself that I can possibly be. Things are going to get weird, people. And so many things that are happening in our world, we have zero control over. They're too powerful. So all we can do is take care of ourselves, take care of our family, our small circle of influence. We can inspire others with our own actions, with our thoughts, with our words, with our compassion, with our love, and maybe even to some degree with some anger, to rise up and stand up against the things that would weaken you and take away your freedoms and your liberties to live your life the way you want to live it, without oppression, without overlords making the decisions for you at every turn. So, hey, follow me on X, subscribe to my Rumble, in case things have to shift in that direction, but I hope to stay here for a very long time. I love YouTube. I really do. I love this platform. I use it every single day. But you never know. So I'm just making sure that I'm protected in the event that things get weird. Now, there are a lot of things I can't say on IG. There are a lot of things I can't say on Facebook. There are a lot of things I can't say here. Well, if you want to hear those things, if you want to hear the saucy stuff, follow me on X. I look forward to speaking to you guys next. I got some great videos coming up that's talking about training, that's talking about nutrition, and all of the controversial shenanigans that I'm known for that go along with that content. So God bless you all, guys. Train hard, diet harder, but above all else, go out there, make it happen, and do whatever you got to do to have a fantastic day and make a freaking difference.